What's up, Exotics fam? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeff.
And my name is Maddox, and today we're going to give you our insight on what it's really like to be a pet YouTuber.
There's a lot of controversy when it comes to running channels like this. There's a lot of drama that comes out. We're still pretty new to it, so we're not really involved in all that drama. But we're going to throw ourselves right in the middle of it today. We are going to answer some questions that we've received since starting this channel. We're going to talk about some of the things that people say about pet YouTube channels, both negative and positive. We're going to focus more on the negative, and we're going to talk about kind of how we try to be different than that and how we want to be better than, I'm not going to say other channels, but better than the negative comments and rise above kind of the negative connotations involved with running a pet tube channel. So stick around and let's get into it. Before we get too deep into this, what is a pet tuber, or a pet YouTuber as they're also called? I think a lot of people use that term as something negative. They refer to somebody as just a pet tuber if they don't take care of their animals properly, or they have way too many animals or whatever. And I think that's ridiculous. Yes, there are people out there that are like that. There are people out there that have channels where they make animals fight each other. Do not watch those channels. Stay away from those channels. Don't support them. But basically anybody who has pets, talks about the care of their pets, shows off their pets or whatever for their channel content is a pet tuber. We're pet tubers. It's fine. It's not a big deal. You can call me a pet tuber.
So if you've been sticking around on the channel for a while, you know that we have a lot of animals. And if you haven't, make sure you hit that like and subscribe before we continue.
Hold on, pause right there. Look at these guys. The bearded dragon is squaring off, and these dogs are just oh, I'm gonna eat them. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
So as I said, if you haven't been sticking around, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. And I'm just gonna give you a quick tour of what we've got down here. So we've got 35 tarantulas, all of assorted species, stretching all everywhere. We've got 16 scorpions. I need to look at the list.
It's okay. Look at the list. That's how you know you're a true pet tuber, when you have to write it all down.
Okay. 35 tarantulas, 16 scorpions, a tailless whip, a colony of assassin bugs, 3 Pac-Man frogs, a bearded dragon, a sulcata tortoise baby, a red uromastix, a Peter's banded skink, a veiled chameleon, a bonded pair of green keelbelly lizard, a saltwater reef tank, as you saw, our 2 retarded mutts. And that's about it.
Okay, so now that you kind of have an idea of what kind of collection we have down here, we're going to kind of talk about what it's really like to run a channel with this many animals, and not just run a channel, but just to even keep up with a collection like this. If you would like to see a video with our morning routines, our nightly routines, feeding routines, cleaning routines, any of that kind of stuff, leave a comment down below. Be happy to share all that with you. We're already planning on doing kind of a nighttime routine video and showing, because we come down here every night, and it's a lot more than just turning the lights off. We check every single enclosure, make sure everybody has water. It's a lot.
Basically, everything he just described could be called a pain in the butt, another pain in the butt, another pain in the butt, a final pain in the butt. But I do love it.
Yeah,
having animals.
And we just listed all these animals we have. And is that too many animals for the average person? Yeah, probably. But
we are not the average person.
First of all,
persons.
2 of us.
Grammar.
First of all, this is something that we love to do. As he just said, is it a pain in the butt? Yeah, sometimes, and it could be tedious, and some people, yeah, it would be a total pain in the butt for some people. But we love working with these animals, and we love doing this. And that's what makes it different. That's why we're not the average person, so to speak.
Peoples,
whatever, grammars, I got it. And so I'm not saying that we're above average, we're anything special. We're just not. The average person wouldn't want to take care of that many animals. And I think that is one of the things that people forget about when they see channels like this who have a lot of animals. But let's just get right into some of the negative things that are said about pet YouTube channels. Okay, so the first negative thing that you hear a lot in regards to pet tube channels is that they just buy animals only to get views. And yeah, you know, maybe, like, I don't know. I don't know all these other channels personally. I personally have never watched a channel where I thought that that's all they did. But that's a realistic...
It's a realistic
assumption. Yeah, absolutely. And we've been asked, like, have you ever been tempted to buy a new animal because it would get views? And like, yeah, I mean, sometimes you'll see something and you'll be like, gosh, that's so cool. People would love to see that. And that would be really good content for our channel.
But you've also got to look at, is it something that we would really enjoy having? And is it something that we maybe have the space for if we're talking about something big? Like, I know a lot of people have tegus. Tegus can be a pain to take care of. We've had them before.
It's a lot of space. They take up a lot of space.
A lot of space. They
a lot of food.
A lot of food. Yeah. A lot of entertainment because they're so intelligent. It's just not something for everybody, but it's good YouTube content.
Yeah, tegus, monitor lizards, giant snakes.
Iguanas.
Yeah, basically anything that takes up a lot of room and gets really big, like people want to see it, especially if it bites you. People really like to watch people getting big. But yeah, the reality is that you can very easily get in over your head if you are just buying animals for views. But it is a realistic assumption, like we said, and I think that there's probably channels out there that totally do that.
The next assumption is that being a pet tuber is the easiest money you'll ever have in your life.
First of all, it's not easy to make money on YouTube. We don't make any money on YouTube.
Not yet. The power of optimism.
But it's also not easy in the sense that I think that people kind of get this idea that you're gonna get a lot of views just because you show your pets off, and that's not the case at all. Plus, the pets don't always cooperate.
Ugh.
Like,
we had to scrap at least 3 or 4 videos because the animals would just
no. And then sometimes you're filming an animal for, I mean,
all intensive educational purposes.
But, well, no, I was gonna say that yes, but you could be filming an animal and you could be trying to get it to do anything, move, eat, whatever, and you could be filming it for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour to get a 5-second clip of it finally grabbing something or eating or whatever. It's not easy to just be like, oh, it's cool, I have a lot of animals, so I'm just gonna make a YouTube channel and I'm gonna get a lot of views and I'm gonna make a lot of money. It's not really like that. The next big thing that people say negatively about pet tube channels is there's no way that they could possibly care for all of those animals that they have. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if I didn't have this little dude right here to help me out, I wouldn't have this many animals, I wouldn't have a channel, I wouldn't be doing any of this. I love tarantulas, I love the reptiles, I love exotic animals, but I wouldn't be able to do this by myself.
Right, and anybody can have a love for anything, but it's not something that you can really realistically do by yourself. Like, if I didn't have him, I would realistically have my Euromastics and maybe my chameleon. I don't know. I've had some financial struggles, probably because I don't have a job.
I'm not even talking about financial struggles though. I'm just talking about the amount of time it takes to care for a collection like this.
Yes.
It's not easy, but it is possible. Like we said, we genuinely enjoy taking each enclosure down one by one, opening it up, making sure it has water, checking and making sure the spider is alive. It's something that we actually like to do. So don't just assume that because somebody has a lot of animals that it's not possible for them to take care of them, because it is. It just has to be something that you actually love.
So a next commonly brought up point is that pet tubers constantly feed you bad information. And while in some cases this may be true, it is not true in every case. There are some people that will tell you, I take care of my, let's just say, bearded dragon this way, but that will conflict with somebody else's point. And if the pet tube channel that you see as bad, that buys more animals for views, has, let's say, 1 million subscribers, then you're going to listen to them as opposed to a smaller channel that is giving you good information with only 5,000.
Yeah. So the point is, you got to do your own research, and there's also more than one way to take care of an animal. There's not a set in stone way. Sometimes the conflicting information might not necessarily be bad. I mean, we keep a lot of stuff in bioactive enclosures, and some people think that that's really good, and some people are just like, that's such a waste, like you don't need a bioactive enclosure for that species or for that particular type of animal. But the way that we do it, it works for us, so we continue to do it that way. You can't necessarily learn everything you need to learn on YouTube from any PetTube channel. Not this channel. We don't claim to be experts. We don't claim to be scientists. Like, I don't have a degree in zoology or entomology or anything like that. But we try to give the best information that we can, and we try to just tell you what works for us. Okay, the last point that we wanted to talk about today is that pet tubers and anybody who shows off a lot of animals on YouTube is bad for the hobby in general, whether it's the invertebrate hobby, the reptile hobby, or, you know, even people that keep like a ton of rabbits and guinea pigs. I mean, I'm sure they're out there. I don't know. We don't really watch content like that because we don't keep rabbits and guinea pigs. And yeah, I mean, I think it could be bad for the hobby in the way that, like, somebody could watch a channel like ours and be like, oh, well, they have all these animals and they seem to be doing fine, so like I should be able to do it too. And that's not always the case. I'm not saying that not everybody can do it, but I think a lot of people wouldn't want to do it, which is another reason why we're gonna show you like our nightly routine or whatever and give you some insight into what it's really like to maintain a collection like this. But does that mean it's bad for the hobby? No, not necessarily. Yeah, there's like I said, there's some channels out there that are spitting out bad information or mistreating their animals, and they get a lot of views for it. For whatever reason, people like to watch that stuff. They like to watch animals kill each other. They like to watch animals being abused. I don't know why that's a thing. Those people don't have any place in my circle. I can tell you that. But it could be bad for the hobby in some ways, but there are a lot of channels out there that try to give out the best information that they can. And we watch a lot of those channels, and we comment on their videos, and we start conversations because we want to learn too. We want to be better too. If you ever watch one of our videos and you're like, you shouldn't be doing that, leave a comment down below and tell us, because we're not trying to do anything wrong. We're just doing the best that we can and trying to show you guys what we are doing and what's working for us.
Thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to us. And if you like videos, not exactly like this, but like our other stuff centered around all things exotic, no matter what it is, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, notifications, all the things.
Yes, and we will leave links down below to our merch store and our Discord and our Instagram. We post pictures regularly on Instagram, and we have a pretty cool Discord community where you can come and you can talk about exotic animals.
Amongst other things?
Amongst other things, yep. We hope that you guys kind of learned something from this, or at least saw a different perspective. I mean, we're not trying to bash anybody. Please do not go in the comments and say, oh, well, you guys must be talking about such and such's channel because they're terrible people or whatever. Like, we're not trying to start a war with anybody. We're just trying to give a little insight into what it's really like, because everything takes longer. Something that only takes 10 or 15 minutes, it takes us, about 15 to 20 minutes to feed all of our tarantulas. But if we're trying to film it all, then it takes over an hour because you're trying to line up shots and whatever. So it's not really that easy to just be like, oh, we have a YouTube channel because we have a lot of animals. It doesn't work like that. So have a little bit of respect, I guess, for people that actually do this, because they're not only taking the time to care for their animals, they're also taking the extra time to share it with everybody who's interested.
You can learn it from a second grade counselor. Treat others the way that you would like to be treated.
Have a little respect. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, I know it was big. I know this was a long video, so good on you. We really appreciate you guys watching through to the end and hanging out with us. And We will see you all next time.